Back on the Rob Dibble Show, Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive. This segment is brought to you by Parisian Salon and Day Spa in Cromwell. I mean, it's right down the street. It's your one-stop shop for all your self-care needs. I'm sure some of these golfers go down there and get manis and petties and make sure they look cute for the cameras.
Possibly. It might be good for the actual feet and fingers there, Dibbs.
Probably.
I know Hines Ward, one of my favorite receivers from Pittsburgh Steelers, would always get manis and petties on game week.
You know, MMA guys do it.
Yeah, got to take care of your tootsies.
You need to keep your toenails like intact as much as possible.
You can slice somebody with a little high kick in the face.
But they break like crazy. You remember when John Jones broke his toe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. It was so – sorry, Nick. Anyway.
So bad. Well, that's some etiquette
happens.
in MMA, but some etiquette on the golf course. Now, we're a little bit different than the rest of the world as far as the golf course goes. Now, there's two different kinds. It's being here watching the PGA, watching the Travelers Championship. There's etiquette that we have to give the people. This is like a PSA of the day. And Dibbs and I kind of get annoyed because we are not country club material. Can you say it like that?
Nor do I like
we don't
being
aspire
thought of
to
that
be
way,
country
right.
club, but we still have some kind of golf decorum out here. Come on, people.
My wife is country club material because she basically went to private schools all of her life, and you know, her parents belonged to a country club for 40 years. So that's
Jana needs some of these tips herself. She would be acting a fool out here, and people like her, we need to school on how.
I'll tell you one. The first one on this list, absolutely.
It's a golf course, not a rock concert. Cell phones, Dibbs. First one on the list. Now, cell phones, when you're playing with me, I'm cool with it, man.
Right.
Even if your cell phone rings and I'm in the backswing about to pound out something 380 down the center.
Not going to bother you.
Not going to bother. We like to play with music. That's all good.
Yep.
But out here, shut your cell phones off, dude.
Yep.
Shut your cell. My word of advice is put it on vibrate. I mean, you can do cell phone stuff.
I would turn it off. If I came out here, unless maybe you have a kid with a babysitter or something like that, or something could happen away from the course, an emergency situation, put it on vibrate. But for the most part, even vibrate near a green where someone's lining up a big putt, you could still hear someone's. And what happens to, and I want to say this about people who wear Apple Watches like mine.
Great
your
point, Dibbs.
Your Apple Watch has a chime. So it goes off. It's gone off when we've been on the air a couple of times, which I try to always cover it. But it'll go off even if your phone's on vibrate and you're getting an incoming call.
Ooh, good tip. Good tip right there. Now, here's another one when it comes to cell phone use. You know, ringing is one thing, and put it on vibrate like Dibbs says. But don't take a call and be talking loud because there's not many places that you can find. Like, go to a porta potty, I think. If you want to take a call and the porta potty line is very short, go to the porta potty and take that call.
Yeah, go somewhere where it's almost soundproof.
And he's just talking so loud. Yeah, I'm at the Travelers. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm standing right next. He's about to shoot. Yeah, you want to hear it? It's like, God, dude.
George Spieth is lining it up right now on 18.
All right, you brought this up a little bit with cell phone, your babysitter, but you can't find a babysitter. Are you bringing the kids? Are you bringing the kids to the golf course?
I mean, I would say below like the age of 5, no.
Now,
unless you're way away from the greens.
I always think this is a big.
This is like a church thing, though, too, man. There's an actual, like my church. There's a soundproof room for the kids.
And you get sent there, or they?
No, you go there.
You put there
if you have any kind of clue.
There should be some soundproof kids areas around here. Maybe we'll float that idea to group. Now, I started when I was 3 years old. My dad used to take me, and we couldn't play around 1, 2, 17, or 18 because it was too close to the clubhouse, and they charge me for being on the cart. But my dad would let me play like with a pitch and wedge real close to the green. That's how we did.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
But they did not want kids under the age, I think was 12 or maybe even 13 on any golf courses, not even your creme de la creme, like your public munis.
Even our country club, I think, was 12 years old.
And now that's been a lot more relaxed.
The one big risk is falling out of the cart. There's no seat belts and stuff. And we've talked about this. I've had 2 friends. One died. One was hurt very badly, head injury, falling from a golf cart. So you don't want to mess around with golf carts on like a cart path, which are made of asphalt or concrete. So, yeah, that's a big liability to bring the kids on the carts.
Well, before we get to carts, now with kids at Travelers, we implore you to bring your kids.
Oh, yeah. No, we're talking about regular golf course.
But the baby. Leave
it's
the baby at home. The baby's going to be crying, messing everybody up.
And we're talking infants. I mean, if it's like 6 months and under,
if we're pushing, don't be pushing
the baby,
little baby carts around
here. We see kids all the time because we're here all through Sunday, and you'll bring the kids out here with no hat on.
Yeah, make sure they got a hat.
You might be a new parent, and take it from someone who's got kids in their 30s.
Right.
The kids should never be in the sun without a hat.
Now,
they get sunburned really bad.
When you're talking carts, this PSA might need to go out to people that get carts at Travelers. Now, we can go through a whole show worth of cart catastrophe or cart funsies.
We have people we've worked with that have done things on carts.
We've had people that have had the iHeartMedia cart that have ran into people. Yep. Now, always know where you're going and assume that people are going to be darting left and darting right at the moment's notice. But the one catastrophe we had that nobody wants me to bring up around here, around Travelers people, is that rogue cart that one cameraman dropped the camera on top of the gas pedal, and then it went by itself and ghost rid all the way into the pond. Let's not do that at all this year, because that got caught on television and has been scrubbed from the internet.
How about the one at the football game that got away from somebody and was running people over? They were going up in the air. It was like a Benny Hill skit, and that some people got hurt in that one until somebody could jump in and stop it. Yeah, you got to pay extra attention.
That happened at a football game. Yep. I was participating in at halftime. We had no idea there was going to be a ghost halftime show of a cart running around rogue. One of the trainers dropped the Gatorade on top of the gas pedal, and then that cart just took off and went right into a wall. And it didn't stop. It hit that wall and just kept bouncing and hitting that wall.
At one of our company events, someone drive into a pond?
I wasn't a part of the company at that point. Maybe that was before my time.
We had one a few years ago.
Henry gives it a ding. Yep. That did happen?
No, that did happen.
Wow, I'm glad I was not there or a part of that. What are your green rules? Now, on the course, what are your
I'm playing?
Yeah.
Well, I love to repair
This
divots.
is where you actually like golf.
I love golf. I love to fix things, and I hate people that are rude and obnoxious and leave their divots when they hit the green. So I try to always fix those. So, yes, please fix your little divots on the green. And
what about walking in my line?
No, I would never walk in your line.
Don't walk in someone's line.
Never walk in someone's line.
Now, when you're at the Travelers,
although you can walk in mine, you and I don't think we care. It's not going to help my putt or hurt it.
I will let you walk in my line, and then if I miss the putt, that's when I blame you. But before, if I make the putt,
that's when I blame you.
Now,
that's your fault.
Out here, some people get mad about this. We're doing any kind of movement in front of me or right behind me when I'm putting. And I don't know if it's an etiquette thing. I try to do it.
You're not supposed to do it.
Do not move.
Yeah.
If you're going to be watching a guy putting and you're going to be really close, like right behind the ropes, don't be doing jumping jacks all of a sudden right there. I think that is out of bounds, and a security guard should escort you to that quiet place.
I've done this more times than I care to admit. I've actually been standing there still and then realized my shadow is in the line of someone's putt.
Great point.
Especially with my big head.
Great point.
And so
then you're swaying a little bit.
Exactly.
So it's like a mini
you're
golf.
Oh, my God. So it's like, oh, dude, I'm in this guy's line right here, and I can't move. So, yeah, get far enough away to where you're not shadowing someone's putt either.
Now, we'll bring this to our golf first and until we get to the Travelers Championship, but speed of play. Now, speed of play, I don't know. Do we deal with this that much? We get behind some.
Well, you know me. I don't take every shot as I get more tired. And if I know it's an easy putt, I don't even go up there and putt because I know you guys are going to make it. Just move on.
I don't even pull the pin anymore.
Don't go on the. If it's an easy putt and you're playing a scramble, and you can only two putt anyway. I don't think you need everybody to go up there and putt.
Now, out here as a spectator, it's a little different. Now, the PGA and the players, they're going to take care of speed of the play on their own. If you are out here, one of the things that is the most annoying to you and me is when people try to tell people to hurry up, you're not going to win. dude, everyone out here is playing for thousands of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
50th place to 49th, 49th to 2nd, 2nd place to 70th. There's so much money in between there that every stroke matters.
You can lose $500,000 from like 2nd place to 5th.
That's fun.
I mean, a lot of these guys are playing. That's a lot of money when it's some of these guys that are going tournament to tournament to pay the bills.
Now, etiquette on saying stuff on drives.
I hate that.
You hate that.
That's so pathetic. Come on. Come on, Rory. Yeah.
Let's do it, Rory.
You think he cares?
You the man.
He already knows he's the man.
One time. I do like when the guy...
You shut your mouth.
I would like. There's some drops that we have that I wish we could put out there after drives. I was watching Xander Schauffele over there on 10 last year, and I just loved it. This one guy followed him around all day, and every time he hit a drive,
I kind of like Happy Gilmore, and I hope he does this in Happy Gilmore.
Well, this guy
too,
was
where
him.
the guy was paid to yell jackass behind his shot.
This is the opposite. This guy was helping Xander. At least he thought he was, because he was a Xander fan.
Of course, he thought it was him and Xander. He was on the bag.
He would scream, "X gonna give it to you," like DMX's song. I thought it was great. I was like, I love this guy. I don't know if Xander does, but I love this guy. Now,
my thing is, listen, either they get to a point where it doesn't bother them about the noise. It never bothered me if 50,000 people were either chanting my name or booing me at Shea Stadium.
This is the fascinating thing, I think,
so it's
of all
like,
time.
These guys should be able to put up with heckling.
Totally.
I'm more annoyed that these volunteers are putting up signs, quiet, please. Quiet, please. What, you going to stop the birds from chirping? You can stop like a plane flying overhead. I mean, just putt the stupid thing.
I have totally changed on this over the years, where I was all about, like, these are pros. This is important. People are making money. Like, let's all be quiet as possible for them.
But you're also privileged to be playing the sport, so it shouldn't be like such a privilege where you make everybody shut up.
I tell this story all the time.
They're paying a lot to come to these tournaments.
I tell this story all the time. It never leaves me. I remember being with someone, taking them to a basketball game before I took them to the Travelers, and we're trying to make 12-year-olds miss free throws at this basketball game. Like, and then we come out here, and she gets shushed from the quiet guys, and then she asked me, aren't these the best players in the world? I'm like, yeah, there's top 100 players here. Why did we try to make that 12-year-old who's not a pro basketball player miss free throws? But out here, we can't be any kind of loud for these guys to miss.
Look at like the Cameron Crazies or anybody. UConn, they have the big fat heads and stuff. All right, forget we can't make sounds. How about I get to hold up a fat head? I get to try to distract you.
I would like a tournament, and I know the waste management
is awesome.
Kind of like this.
Now throwing the beer if you get a hole in one.
That's great. I think that's great. I'm totally for that.
I don't like.
I just wish there was a heckle tournament where like it's encouraged, and instead of the quiet signs, it's make some noise signs, and everybody.
Oh, you stink!
So true. I would love
that. So true. Even music. How about, like, you've got big speakers out here. How about just some big blaring music? Have some fun.
Yeah.
Have fun tournament.
I don't know. The music thing I like with the New Orleans Pairs tournament, when you have walkout songs for these golfers and they get to choose their own walkout music on the first tee. I think that'd be great if we could do that. Smoke machine, fireworks. Here comes Rory McIlroy, and he's playing like Shipping Up to Boston. Oh my gosh,
that would be great. Oh my God, all the Irish people and Scottish people would be so fired up.
I already got goosebumps.
Or Shane Lowry.
I know. What are we missing?
Or Tommy Fleetwood.
There's just so much. Here's my number one, and I've said this I think on the Wednesday that you were gone last week. My number one thing that I hate out here is you telling people about their bets while you're watching them play.
That's stupid as hell.
I hate that. Yep. That is like number
That's your thing,
one
man. That's not the guy playing.
Worst thing. And I'm a gambler. And I'm probably betting on these guys too, which, by the way, make a note. I got to throw something down on Luke Clanton.
Yep.
But I am no way going to try to influence anything or Did you hear about Scotty Scheffler in the Venmo? He had to shut down his Venmo because people were either sending him $5 to be like, hey man, I want some money on you, here's that, or hey man, you owe me like $50 for betting on you and you didn't win. And he was sick of it, had to shut it down. I hate that kind of stuff, man. You made the play, you made the bet. Don't talk about the subjects of that bet or to them or let them know.
You cost me money on DraftKings or FanDuel. That's so ridiculous, dude. Shut the hell up.
How many people have told you that you won them money or lost them money?
I've had a lot of people tell me I won them money. Not very few.
You won my dad money on that World Series. I'll tell
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. I've had a few wise guys that have bought me dinner.
Really?
Yeah. Post-career. I didn't know any wise guys during my career.
Speaking of which, I'm glad you brought this up because we didn't get to do our daily pickle with Clanton in the mix. But did you know yesterday, besides Shohei getting the start, Ippy went to prison? It was day one of Ippy being sent to prison in Pennsylvania. Same day Shohei made that start. Isn't that ironic?
That is ironic. Pennsylvania?
I was wondering that too. I didn't get to the bottom of why we're in Pennsylvania with
just to get him as far away from Shohei as possible.
Do you think Shohei
is it a federal prison?
Japanese government made that decision for Ippy? I feel for Ippy, man. Free Ippy. Free Ippy,
dude. I feel like that guy. his family got like 10 mil or 20 million for him to go serve some time.
They already lost it. They bet it all on Shohei with a complete game last night. Damn it.
Hey, that would be a sucker's bet because nobody throws complete games anymore.
I just saw that yesterday. I was like, no way. This cannot be true.
God.
Like, yep. Same day, Ippy goes to prison.
All right, let's go back to the Devers real quick. Since we didn't do the daily pickle. Okay, I was just thinking about this overnight, and because my wife was talking about this thing and stuff. So let's just start with David Ortiz. David Ortiz, since spring training, has been trying to contact him to no avail. Rafi will not return his texts at all. Number two, going back to Babe Ruth, this is an MO of the Red Sox and a lot of other major league teams that they deal superstars. They don't care who you are, when we're going to do it. Nomar Garciaparra was 2004. I think Manny Ramirez was 2013. They have been dealing superstars and not dealing with them. I brought up Pedro yesterday.
Mookie.
I brought up Mookie. I brought up
Xander.
Johnny Damon, Xander Bogaerts, Benintendi. I mean, that was a reason. But I could go all the way back, and even the 70s and 80s, they were always dealing their superstars. But they're not the only team. I don't know why everybody is so stuck on Devers here, because you and I think we both agree he's not.
He's not a superstar. No, he's not. He might be paid like one, but
he's one of the worst third basemen I've ever seen. If you go back, he's got
what commercials he in?
Go back, I think it's 2018. From 2018 to this year, I think it's 141 errors. Has the most of any third baseman in Major League Baseball. That doesn't put him on my superstar list. Now,
long
he
way
can
to
hit,
go, bro.
He's a hell of a hitter,
kinda,
but he's just one guy. He's just one guy, and so I was listening to different shows and things like that, and I would put Paul O'Neill in star, maybe not superstar, but Paul won 5 championships. Okay,
exactly.
After Paul O'Neill was traded in 1992, the Yankees won their first one in '96, but in 10 years they would win 4 world championships with Paul O'Neill on that roster. They retired Paul's number. I would say that puts you in the area of star and superstar in my book. His numbers are amazing. He won a batting title, all of the things that go into being a superstar, but he's a superstar human. Here's the thing about Paul O'Neill. He was the best guy on our team. I mean human. Best guy. Christian, family man, never went out, all that kind of I had to almost hold him down to have him drink a beer. I mean, he's that kind of guy. He was such a leader by example. So it's like we're going gaga over this Rafael Devers who wouldn't be a team player. I don't get where these other people are coming from other than being enablers of bad behavior.
I understand the Mookie. Like, I understand why
Mookie's a great
Red
human.
Sox people are so
You didn't
upset.
want to pay the $50 million more.
Right.
I get it.
That upsets me even as a baseball fan. I'm not a Red Sox fan.
I'm sick that you traded for Verdugo as the other guy. You want to talk about a wasted draft or wasted trade?
By the way, I just think that they have some young talent, and just talking to John Papelbon yesterday, which, by the way, that's been podcast. If you guys missed that out there in Radio Land, you should go check that out, because Paps is just totally honest about the situation. And when you got, not just Duran, you've got a lot of young talent there.
You get. I'm sure people want Roman Anthony, who, by the way, hit his first home run last night.
And by the way, they're hot. They've won 6 in a row right now. And did you see the joy on their faces after they win the game last night?
They were a totally different team.
Totally different team.
There's nobody dragging them down. Oh, isn't that interesting? Here's something that I did learn from Jonathan Papelbon, and the fact that Alex Cora, who I'm not a big fan of anyway, he made Craig Breslow one of his first duties as a GM to have a sit down with Devers, become the fall guy, and say, we brought in Bregman, you're losing your third base job, and you really aren't. I mean, we're putting a Gold Glover at third, and we're going to have you play some DH this year. But, Cora didn't want to do that because he didn't want to lose the relationship of manager-player. You lost that anyway. You never had that this year.
Yeah.
And even people are like, well, this was the straw that broke the camel's back, was when he didn't bring. Listen, I think in spring training, when you didn't pick up a damn glove and either try to play other positions or even practice baseball, you lost me and you lost everybody in that clubhouse. And so I was told also that when Campbell said, I'll play first base, Devers was offended by the rookie. He was pissed that this guy, he said that guy showed me up by saying, I'll play first, coach, in front of him. So Rafi had a lot of ego problems this year. And so it wasn't one thing. It wasn't not hustling. It wasn't not, shagging balls and taking balls at first or third base. This guy, he thought, I'm going to play the superstar card because you overpaid me. He overplayed the card, and this is what happens to guys that overplay their hand. They lose. He got shipped to another team. Now, honestly, he's going to a great Giants team with an excellent manager in Bob Melvin, who I respect the hell out of, and a lot of respectable guys on that team, including Buster Posey as your general manager. But I just think that there was a lot of dominoes that fell, including the one a month ago in the sit down with John Henry, your owner. If you're not talking to your owner, the guy paying your check every 2 weeks, in a more respectful way than, no, I'm not going to play first, and I'm not going to take ground balls or even participate. If I were John Henry, I would have sat him that day and sit him until I trade him.
The thing that's really upsetting me in the aftermath of it all is the comparisons of the word superstar and Mookie Betts, as if it's the same thing.
No.
And it's not the same thing. I would take Mookie Betts in anything over Rafael Devers. If we're picking teams for basketball, baseball, third base, designated hitter, anything. Even
bullpen pitcher.
Honestly, I said this to Federico before the show started. If we're doing a tobacco chewing contest, I'm still taking Mookie because I think Mookie wants to win more than Rafael Devers, even though Devers has a lot more experience in chewing tobacco. But I don't like those comparisons because you don't know what you're talking about. You haven't watched Devers this year. You don't know who Mookie Betts is. It's apples to oranges in my world.
Well, and I'm not saying that Rafi's not charitable, but that was another thing that bothered me. And Mookie still does charities in Boston, even though he plays for the Dodgers, because that's the kind of stand-up guy he is. But don't compare. Nomar was a stand-up guy. Manny was a very good guy until he wasn't, and got bad advice to act like a spoiled brat and get yourself traded. And, yes, I know he threw a punch at Euclid. Listen, my manager threw a punch at me. I still love Lou. I mean, that's a stupid thing to say as well. Oh, we got into an argument with the traveling secretary. We all did. We all didn't like our rooms on the road sometimes or something. I swear to God, I walked in a room one time, I don't know where it was, and there was somebody in the room.
Awesome.
So I come in I could have got shot in the face. So, yeah, I had a problem with my traveling secretary. What the hell are you doing? Why am I in that room? So, it's just some of the things that have been said that, this is why we You tell someone else, and it's not easy being the president or being Craig Breslow. I think he's the president or chief operating officer of baseball, whatever his title is, to do some of the dirty work and stuff like that. It's easy for John Henry and in the Fenway Group to do that.
Right.
So I mean, to make it seem like, well, this guy got traded. Every guy's situation is different. Every guy's situation is different. Why did we trade this? Why was Luka Doncic traded? How would you like to be one of the top 5 basketball players on the planet? And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? By the way, hey, we traded you.
That one's fascinating to me too.
Forget Rafael Devers for a second. How crazy could that news have been delivered to Luka Doncic?
And even when that happened, though, and all the fans went crazy about it, they forgot to realize he hadn't played in 17 games.
Yep.
It's like, you guys aren't mad about that, but you're mad about him leaving. And like that's the thing that is, even with Rafael Devers, and I hear a lot of the talking heads in the last 24 hours just say, how can you do that? And I'm like, you guys aren't watching what's been going on for the last 2 months with this baseball team and this guy in particular. So, we know all the details. We know what's going on with the Red Sox, and we're glad, I think, that they got out of that contract and out of that situation in their clubhouse. I think the Red Sox are off and running right now.
Here's my last point on this. I don't want to talk about it. That's not baseball to me. I want to talk about the X's and O's. I watch all the Red Sox, all the Yankees, all the Mets.
Yankees can't score right now.
Yeah, Yankees can't score a run right now, even against the Angels. But you kind of lose track of the Mets games and these other games that I want to watch because I'm like, I got to tune in and see what Devers does tonight.
Yeah,
I got to see if this guy dogs it down the first base. I don't want to do that. I don't want to show up here the next day with Ben and we got to talk about Rafi last night being a bad sport and a little crybaby and stuff like that. That's not, to me, that's not baseball. Baseball is, we're all on the same page. We're all fighting for the same goal, which is to win a championship.
Right.
And when Breslow brought that up, people are like, how could you say that? He knows what he's losing. This guy's a brilliant guy. He knows I'm losing his home runs, I'm losing his RBIs. But you know what I'm getting rid of? The attitude.
And $250 million.
That's right. I got rid of $250 million, which is part of my job, to create money to come back and help the ball club for next year and this year. But also I gave these guys a breath of fresh air. I basically opened the door up when it was too hot in that locker room and let in fresh air. And now these guys can breathe again and do what they do, which is play baseball and have fun. You think that that's fun? Walking on eggshells every day while one guy basically rules the whole roost? No, that was not a baseball team. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got Nathan Grube to join us yesterday. Just kind of walked up on the show, which is what Nathan does best.
Yeah.
And so we're going to replay that for you next. And then we'll get on with some of the rest of the show, including the finals. We'll talk about the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals coming up in this next hour. But Nathan Grube, Tournament Director, next from the Travelers Championship. It's the Rob Dibble Show at Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive.